Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV, and we want to talk today, this morning here in Switzerland and evening in Australia, to Michael Hudson, the CEO of Hannan Metals, and of course, we want to get an insight on their terrific press release they had yesterday. Michael, good morning, and good evening to you. How are you?
Good afternoon from down under, Jochen. It's lovely to be back.
Yeah, great to see you, and I see a lot of smile on your face, and we already were talking about your great press release from yesterday, but now we want to do that, of course, also for our viewers. Congratulations, JOGMEC, the big Japanese commodity and resource authority will invest up to $35 million into your project in Peru. So what does it look like? Can you give us a bit more insight on the deal? And most important for me is also, have you not sold, but have you given away all of the San Martin project, or do you still control something?
Well, let's talk about the deal first, Jochen. And it's a big deal. It's a very good deal. It's a great partner, Japanese Oil and Gas Corporation. So JOGMEC is the acronym, and JOGMEC was set up by the Japanese government, or has been set up by the Japanese government, to source metals for Japanese industry. Mm-hmm. So JOGMEC comes in early stages. If there's a discovery made, then it's generally often farmed out to one of the industrial large players in Japan. So that's the idea. They're a very good supporter. They're exploring around the world. You know, this is a big deal. This is $35 million US into this project. There's $8 million US to be spent before they earn 1 cent of interest in the project. So there's a lot of risk capital they're putting up here. But I'll go into it in a bit more detail in a moment. But so as a partner, you can't really ask for better. We're still managing the project and will at least do for the next 4 years. And this is a huge project, as we know. You know, this is huge, but it will require a lot of resources and time. And now we've secured a partner who will fund that all the way through without us essentially spending 1 cent until, you know, ideally that we get to our endpoint, which we're all hoping for is a mine. Mm-hmm. So the deal is, you know, relatively complex, but the high level is that there's a stage of exploration, and that's $8 million US. Once JOGMEC achieve that, they earn 51% in the project, but they've got to spend all of that. They don't get that back. Now, the next stage is they've got to spend another $12 million, I should say, so $20 million to get to 67% or achieve a pre-feasibility study. Now, if they don't get the $20 million, they lose their majority, and we can buy back 2% of the project. So they go to 49 and 51%. So they've got to get to $20 million expenditure in this project before they're assured of earning the majority. And then there's another $15 million on top to achieve feasibility. So that's the $35 million. And then there's a royalty schedule or a dilution schedule if we're not in the position to partake. And you know, it's a very big number. If you look at the dilution, it's $100 and something million before we dilute down. But that's not necessarily the idea, and we're not looking to do that. But they're taking the high risk now here. So we've secured that and managing it, and there's going to be a lot of risk capital put into this project as we go forward, not costing shareholders a cent. Now, your question was the second part. Have you given away the farm? And certainly that's not the case. We haven't sold the farm. We've joint ventured out around 650 square kilometres. Already we have over 900 square kilometres of ground. So about a third of the ground is left for us to explore in our own right. Mm-hmm. And I often say, and here's a little hint for you and your listeners, I often say that paying geologists, the best way to pay geologists is for them to sit down and look out the window, and that means they're thinking. And guess what's happened over the COVID period is there's been a lot of thinking, and I think in our industry in general it will actually lead to a lot of discoveries because people have slowed down, considered, and we are scientists, and scientists need to consider and reflect on their data, and we've done that in Hannan over the last 6 to 9 months, and there's a lot more to come to the table in terms of what we're doing in Peru. So we definitely have a focus with exploring with JOGMEC. We're managing that, but you'll see that, of course, we've already got about a third of the projects left to explore in our own right, and we're not stopping there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you are not yet a multi-billion-dollar company, so I think the help from such a big player is outstanding that you have received it. But I think it also shows the quality and potential of your claims. Because why should a company like JOGMEC go to, let's say, a small exploration company if they would also not see there a big chance of success?
Absolutely. It's, this is real frontier new discovery, a new basin, and it's attracted one of the largest players in the world. One of the largest economies in the world has put their exploration dollars to play here, and that's a validation of the model, of the style, of the opportunity, of the people, and this was a deal long negotiated because it's quite an extensive deal, and there's a lot of detail behind the scenes, and it took quite a while and a lot of due diligence on their part. So it validates what ourselves and only a very few other people have got the opportunity here. I mean, there's only one other company, Urania, that has ground in this basin, and it's a one-stop shop in terms of there's the opportunity, and we were first movers, we were first there, and we've been the first to find the partner of significance.
Fantastic. No, and I also find it also interesting that, let's say, a Japanese state authority is doing that and not the Chinese, because the Japanese also have to secure their commodity supply, right?
Well, we're quite used to that in Australia. Really, the Japanese have helped build the Australian minerals business. They really helped build the iron ore business, which is our major export here in Australia. So it's been a long-held relationship with the Japanese, for Australians at least. So we're used to seeing them do that.
Okay. Now I read in your press release that the initial exploration activities will focus on geological, geophysical, geochemical data sets in the joint venture project area, and they shall be concluded by March 2021. So this is like the preparation for aggressive drilling then? And when will the drills turn? Yeah,
so it's the year there has been set by the Japanese fiscal year. So that's the first phase that is at the end of the Japanese fiscal year, now that we're tied into the government budgets for Japan on this project, essentially. So the on-the-ground works will seamlessly continue right through. But we're hoping to spend $700,000 over the next 3 to 4 months exploring there. So we're hitting the ground hard. It won't be drilling because, we've been locked out of Peru, and our aim was to be, drilling more or less at the end of this year, the start of next year. But of course, we haven't been able to permit. Now, we just got back on the ground in Peru. Peru had a very bad outcome, of course, with COVID, and especially in the regions, it was not very good. So we're playing more a supportive role with our stakeholders than an active one exploring. But now we're back. We've had social teams since the start of November. Field teams have recommenced, and we've even got our president, Lars Darlenborg, who's based in Sweden, travelling back to Peru in the next week or so. So we're staffed up. We've got the team ready to go, and we'll be permitting in the next few months for drilling. But permitting is not quick in Peru, and if anyone tells you so, then you should run, because it's a rigorous process, and probably this Q2 to Q3 and maybe into early Q4 is going to be the best time. But we're very focused on doing that. The partnership wants to get in and drill, and so we'll start permitting that as soon as we can, which is January.
Super. So when I listen carefully to your words, it looks to me like that you have like let's call it Plan B, that you are doing a lot more around, which we cannot discuss now because it's a forward-looking statement. But I find it very interesting. And the question is now, with the help through JOGMEC, you are of course saving a lot of money and time in the future here on those 656 square kilometers. So first of all, what is still cash in the bank, and are you fully financed for 2021?
Yeah, so we've got about a 40 million market cap. We've got 35 million US or 50 million Canadian expenditure. So we got more than our market cap expenditure committed to this project, should it work, of course. Of course, that doesn't come automatically. And then our cash in the bank today is at a little over $2 million. So that would fund us if we were sitting on our hands and just enjoying the benefits of this joint venture alone, which we will work very hard, and we're very happy to be partnered with JOGMEC here, and we're going to work very hard to make discoveries there. But we will be exploring and are exploring in our own right also.
Okay, super. Last question. I saw also that you have the projects in Ireland. Can you maybe comment shortly on them, like Clare Regional and Kilbricken Resource? What is going on there, or are they put a little bit on the side?
Well, they've certainly been on the side for the last couple of years as we've focused on Peru and the opportunity. Copper is an easier sell. People get copper. Zinc, which is Ireland, has always been a hard sell, and I know zinc pretty well. But the project we've got in Ireland is a good project. It's got a resource. Lundin Mining spent $20 million within the last 10 years on that project. That was one of their key projects in their portfolio, and we bought it from them back in 2015. We've done some huge seismic surveys across that part of Ireland to find some very strong targets that are drill ready. Now, if people tell me there's a zinc market and zinc's looking, at $1.25 or something, it's looking better, then we'll start exploring that, and we're ready to go. I miss Ireland. I love Ireland, and I think it's a wonderful place to be exploring. But the plans are either to drill it ourselves or find a partner, and that is not sure yet which way we'll do that. Yeah, we're still both in the air, but it's still 100% Hannan shareholders' property. Okay.
Super, perfect. Yeah, then thank you very much for the update. Again, congratulations. I would say well done, well played. And we look forward then to your new adventures in Peru, maybe which will come in addition then.
Well, the unknown is always more exciting than the known, but this is a big deal, and shareholders are going to really benefit from it.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thanks, Jochen.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Hudson, the CEO of Hannan Metals, and you heard it. A super great deal with JOGMEC from Japan. It's a $35 million exploration expenditure package, I would call it, for 656 square kilometers of their San Martin project in Peru. And Hannan has still over approximately 300 square kilometers left, which they own 100%, and which is not in the joint venture area, but a lot more is going on. The company has enough money for 2021, and we look forward to keep you updated. I would suggest you check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland, and bye-bye to Australia.